Hello everybody. Hello. Okay, I don't really have anything to say, except maybe I guess we're giving a life update. I guess that makes sense. I haven't uploaded in over a month. Hey guys, it's me. Why did I not upload for a month? Well, can you guess that I was depressed? Good guess. Yeah, okay, that's so awkward. Here's the thing. The last time that I got depressed, I was convinced that I met God, and I understand how crazy all of this sounds. I don't really care that I sound crazy, so yeah, anyway, I was convinced that I met God and that God pulled me out of the depression. And then I had like a little religious moment and I was like, okay, I guess I'm a Christian now. And it kind of freaked me the fuck out. The whole thing did. Okay, here's the thing. It really was a spiritual experience. I really do believe that God saved my life and prevented me from ending it, because I have absolutely no other explanation for what occurred. However, because all of that happened, then I got into this like weird obsession with religion for a moment. And I felt like all of my beliefs that I believed in the past were wrong, because religion will tell you that New Age stuff is deception. And so then I was like doubting literally everything that I had ever believed in ever. And I was like, okay, it must have all been a lie, because I personally have very black and white thinking. So I was like, well, if Jesus is the truth, because that was something that I had been getting over and over again. It was like a message I was receiving. And so I was like, if Jesus is the truth, that means nothing I believed in before could possibly be true at all, period. That's nope, wrong. That's definitely black and white thinking, and it's fine to have black and white thinking. Anyway, yeah, no, I said some things in some of my videos that I don't agree with anymore. I said some things about how everything New Age related was deception, and I don't agree with that. I straight up don't agree with that. Obviously, there is truth in New Age stuff, because the truth in New Age brought me to where I am here right now. Yeah. So that's kind of awkward. But then I also filmed videos about how there's half truth in New Age, and I was like kind of trying to explain. Honestly, I feel like it's all too much to explain, and at this point I kind of want to just like, I don't know. I'm doing really good right now because I'm letting go of all of the rigid thinking, of all of the rigid structures, and I'm just letting God guide me. And my definition of God is literally something that cannot even be defined, because God is so vast. And I still do believe that God is within you, and even the Bible says the kingdom of God is within. But I also believe that God is everywhere, omnipresent everywhere. So God is everywhere outside of you, but also everywhere inside of you, and everything is God. And it's a lot. There's so much to say. But yeah, here's where Jesus comes in. I finally understand what I actually believe in, at least right now, but it's making everything make sense, which is cool. And I'm really grateful that everything finally makes sense, because for a good minute there, I was really confused. And then finding clarity, and then really confused, and then finding clarity, and then really confused. And I was like, wow, what is happening? So in terms of Jesus, because I kept getting the answer that Jesus is the truth, but then I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't understand why I was receiving that information. Just, yeah. Christ consciousness. That is, that's what I believe in now. And that's kind of all I have to say. I don't even know how to explain all of this. It's so much to explain. I kind of just want to film this video to tell you guys a lot of what I believed in with my whole like Jesus era is not up to date, and I want to give you guys some more up to date information, because I do resonate with a lot of the New Age stuff that led me to where I am now. and it's not all deception. And the fact that I was like, it's all deception, that was deception in itself. It's so ironic, and there's so many layers and paradoxes, whatever. What I actually believe in, and I finally connected all of the dots, is the concept of Christ consciousness. And I do believe that Jesus is the truth and the way and the life, as he claims, but not so much in the way that people interpret that in the religious sense. More so, Jesus lived a life in a way to show us how we are meant to live our lives. Jesus lived a life where he loved everybody, no matter what, no matter who they were, and no matter how much they hurt him. He loved everybody. Jesus lived a sin-free life. He lived a life where he was guided by love. He lived a life where he was guided by faith. Every single decision that Jesus made was from a place of faith and knowing and trust and understanding that God is guiding him every second of the way and every second of the day. Not once did Jesus doubt that God was with him. Not once did Jesus doubt that God would betray him, even in the hardships that he experienced. Not once did Jesus doubt that God would be there. Every second of Jesus's life, Jesus had faith in God. Jesus had faith in the divine. He had faith in trusting God. And because of his faith, he was able to perform miracles through God, through his faith in God. I believe that Jesus is the answer because of the way that Jesus lived, and he's showing us how we are meant to live. He is showing us that we are meant to live a life filled with faith and love and trust. The Bible also says that we are able to perform miracles just like Jesus, and we will be able to do and accomplish even more than Jesus through our connection with God. I think that Jesus is the answer because he is the key. He is the roadmap. He is the guide on how to live a life free of fear, a life where you fully surrender and trust that God has got you. And for a minute there, I was adopting this rigid thinking, this rigid understanding of the concept of God when I got into my little religious era for a second, when I was like, Jesus is the answer. I saw it very black and white, and I didn't mean to. It's kind of part of the deception thing. But don't focus on what you don't want to attract. Because, it's also true. It's also true that what you focus on manifests. What you focus on, what you bring your attention on, you're going to receive more of. It's how our brains are programmed. God created us in the way that he did. He created our brains in the way that he did, with the neuroscience that connects to quantum physics, that connects to the law of attraction and manifestation. And yeah, it's a freaking iffy topic, the law of attraction and manifestation. It shouldn't be. It has totally been twisted in the new age realm. I mean, I guess law of attraction, it kind of is like a new agey thing, but the concept itself isn't new age at all. It really just means have faith and you'll receive blessings, really. Yeah, I don't know. Everything's just making so much sense to me, and I'm having a lot of clarity with it all recently. I don't really know if I have anything else to say. Basically, I just wanted to film this video to say that the beliefs that I have uploaded are outdated. And these are my current beliefs. The concept of Christ consciousness, that I believe Jesus is the answer, and not in the religious way, but more so in a spiritual way. That the way that he lived his life He was able to achieve that through Christ consciousness, through his direct connection to God himself. And we have that direct connection to God within us by connecting to him through the Holy Spirit or the God within. It's whatever you want to call it, but that feeling of oneness, that feeling of divine connectedness, unconditional love. It's an unexplainable feeling, but you'll know it when you feel it. Those little nudges when your intuition is speaking to you, guiding you to make a decision, that's God speaking to you. And when you make those decisions from a pure place of love, unconditional love, and true faith, because you acknowledge that it is your intuition and that God speaks to you through your intuition. You have faith that God is with you and God is protecting you through your actions, through your decisions in your life. Nothing can truly hurt you. You will feel your connection to God grow stronger and stronger, more and more. And this unconditionally loving feeling, you will receive it more and more, and your faith will grow stronger. And this is the embodiment of Christ consciousness. But it's so much more than just what I'm saying. The vocabulary is limited when you are trying to explain God. God is a limitless being, limitless creator. So when you try to explain God with your words, your vocabulary, it's a limited thing. You're trying to explain a limitless being with a limited substance, a limited vocabulary, which means in that sense, you're kind of trying to put God in a box, trying to grasp him and put him in a box and contain him when you are trying to define him. But God cannot be defined. I'm finally learning to understand God cannot be defined. And I don't really think he wants us to define him. God is not to be defined, but to be experienced. And we can experience the fullness and the trueness of God when we literally have faith in him, when we understand that if we have faith in him, that's all that we need. That's literally all that we need. Having faith means I'm deciding that God is with me every moment, every second of the day. I'm deciding to believe this, which means if something bad happens to me or if I make the wrong decision, it's not actually the wrong decision because God already has a path laid out for you. So it's like you made the wrong decision. So then, you're going this way. Guess what? Over here in this direction, this path where you now are on because of the decisions that you made, God already has new paths and decisions and experiences and opportunities and blessings laid out for you over here on this path, even though you made the wrong decision. No, in God's eyes, it's okay. God forgives you. God isn't holding it against you. He's laying out new paths of blessings and gifts and opportunities and abundance for you. As long as you have faith that that's exactly what he's doing. But he is. You don't even need to have the faith for this to be true. But when you have the faith, that's when you are able to experience it. Yeah. So even if you feel like you messed up, like it's never too late. You're never too far gone. God is always with you, always. So God is not to be defined, but rather experienced. And you experience God by having faith in him, by having faith that he is with you all the time. If you just trust that, then you are able to experience God because God will perform miracles in your life. You can perform miracles in your life through God or with God. God will perform the miracles in your life through you. You are co-creating with God. God is not to be defined, but experienced, is what I'm finally learning to understand. And while you are experiencing him by letting go and trusting and surrendering and having faith, then the definition definition of God will begin to unfold to you, and it will make so much more sense. You'll begin to understand who God really is, what God really feels like, what God is really all about, the unconditional love that God has for you, and that God can work through you, the miracles and blessings that God has planned for you. You'll begin to understand it more and more and more the more that you experience God, this definition that you so desire to understand. But he doesn't need to be defined, and he doesn't want you to define him. So stop trying to define him. The more you try to define the concept of God, being a limitless creator, you are limiting him and putting him in a box. And God can't be limited, can't be contained. So it's an oxymoron, it's a paradox when you try to limit him with your human vocabulary and your human understanding, your human definitions. The human part of you cannot understand or grasp God fully, because God is not to be defined. Rather, God is to be experienced. Yeah, that's amazing. Now, y'all might be here like, okay, but what about all the hardships? What about all the hard times? Really? God's with me even in these blah, 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 blah. Or you might be like, who are you to talk? You haven't experienced X, Y, and Z. It's really funny. So, here's the thing. I don't broadcast my whole life on the internet. So there is a lot that I have experienced that y'all do not know about. I have experienced the darkest depths of depression. I have experienced extreme mental health struggles. I have experienced extreme physical health struggles involving chronic illness. I have experienced deep childhood traumas. I have experienced mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual trauma. I have experienced more than you might think. I'm not trying to broadcast it all on the internet, but I say this so as to tell you that I understand that it can feel really, 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 really difficult to have faith in God when you are going through the hard times. No, I understand that so much, because when I have experienced these hard times, it's like everything feels pointless, everything feels meaningless. What's the point? Is God even real? There's just a lot of deep hardship, negativity that can overcome you, make you feel like God isn't there, but he is. And I keep coming back to that. And every time that I feel the clarity, it's clarity in knowing I am not separate from God. God is always with me. Me and God are interconnected. God is with me. God is with you. God is all around us. And that's what I feel clarity about every single time that I feel the clarity. And any time that I feel confused, it's when I'm feeling distant from God. I've never felt clarity of, I feel so crystal clear that God is not real. But and I used to be an atheist, and I did believe that God wasn't real. But I didn't feel these big, profound feelings of clarity. I feel so convinced that God isn't real, and I'm radiating clarity about. No, I was not radiating clarity about it. I logically believed that he wasn't, but that's different from the feeling, the energetic feeling of clarity. No, every single time that I have experienced this profound feeling of clarity, it's been in the knowingness that we are not separated from God. During the hard times, you can feel like you're separated from God, and I understand that. I just want to remind you that you're not separated from God, no matter how it may feel. And I understand that you may feel separated from God. If you're seeing this video, you are a lot closer to God than you might think that you are. I mean, God is literally using the universe to send you this video. God is literally working his magic, and you found this video. So, yeah. Okay. That is all that I have to say. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And it's so cool to feel so excited and to feel so much crystal clear clarity after feeling so extremely devastatingly depressed for so long. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about this video. I didn't know what it was gonna be about. Now I'm excited about it. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comments. I love responding to your comments. Oh my goodness, my little baby boy. Mwah. If you want to share in the comments some examples of what really clicked for you, examples of you feeling this crystal clear clarity and connection to God, and maybe synchronicities, how God has spoken to you, guided you, made you feel connected, and reminded you of your connection, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your stories and your perspectives. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.